Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am finally ready to keep my promise from the last few videos now. Uh, Finally ready to give you guys access to my raycaster. Uh, it has taken me way too long, I know. For the first video, I tried to put the code in, but it was for some reason it wouldn't let me put it in a comment, and too long for description. And I mean, the first one was a little underwhelming. I mean, that was more of a learning experience for me. But the second one, I was allowed to comment on my own video, but it was too long for a comment or a description. So I had to research a free and safe way to share it with you guys. And I've gone against saving it as or sharing it as an executable file, because it'd be fairly easy to just replace it with a virus in case someone wanted to troll the viewers of a channel with 40 subscribers. Anyway, I decided to not share it as as an executable file. And the good part of that means you guys get to look at my code. It can help you learn in case you haven't done anything like this before. Bad news about that is you have to learn. You got to download Python. So don't worry, I'll show you how to do that. You'll also need pygame. I'll show you how to import that as well. First things first, go into your web browser of choice and search up Python download. Look for python.org and download the latest version for your operating system. Don't worry, it's free. If it prompts you to pay anything, you've gone onto the wrong website. If you use Windows, download for Windows. If you don't use Windows, please do not press download for Windows. It probably won't work. Now, find a suitable place to download this, but remember, this is just the installer. This isn't actually Python itself. Alright, now once that download has been completed, you're going to want to open up what you've just downloaded. It should bring you to this page here. Now, go to Modify. Now, if you're interested in learning Python, I'd recommend installing the documentation. It's not the greatest learning resource for people who are completely new to Python, but it's useful when you've known a bit and you just want to research something new. You absolutely need to have pip and tcl/tkn idle installed. These two absolutely have to be checked. If you go next, add Python to environment variables absolutely has to be checked. All right, the others are probably optional. I haven't checked most of them. Now you'll press install, and it'll prompt you to enter your password and then find a suitable spot to install it. However, I'm going to press cancel or just close it because I already have it. And now you're safe to close that tab. Go to the pastebin website that I have linked in the description. That'll bring you to here, although yours probably won't have light mode. Probably won't have dark mode. I have dark mode on it though, because I'm just such a programmer. And you're going to want to take all this code, all right, all of it. Yes, it's a lot of code. And now copy it. Now comes to the bit that I know it looks like it's going to be complicated. Don't worry, it's not really that bad. I'll walk you through and explain what's happening. Open up the command prompt from your operating system. In Windows, you can just press the Windows button and type command or CMD for short. This will open up the command prompt. Now, to make sure that Python has been properly added to your environment variables, do pip enter. Doesn't really matter whether or not you do caps. Command prompt, at least in Windows, command prompt ignores caps. Just treats them as lowercase. It should give you something like this. If it doesn't, go back into that thing that you've downloaded and make sure that Python has been added to your environment variables. If you do get this, you're safe to go pip install pygame. Pygame, pygame. Make sure it's spelled properly. And for me, it's already set. I already have pygame. For you, if it should give you a little animation, like a little progress bar filling up to show you that just the progress on how much is downloaded. All right then, once pygame has been downloaded, you're safe to close that. Now open idle, IDLE. Should show for your Python version, the one that you downloaded. I'm using 3.10 because that's the latest version. Now, just open up the Python shell. This is where you can execute little snippets of code, like there you go. You press enter to execute the code, and there you go. Print command that does this. I wouldn't recommend that you use this for much other than small snippets of code. What you're really going to want to do is you're going to want to press File, New File. That'll open up another window. Okay, so I seem to have copied something else, so it couldn't hurt to go back on here and copy this code again, unless you've already closed the tab. Should be fine. Make sure this code is copied, and now paste it, Control V, and it'll give you this. Now you might be a little bit worried because you see all this red text. Those are code comments. Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't I wouldn't leave errors in my code for you guys to fix up. These are just yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. This is for collision checks. This is sort of describing how this function works. Documentation. Now, once you are satisfied, and also actually a little challenge for any experienced Python developers, or like slightly experienced, you'll see that this right here, this function is actually completely useless. If you'll read the comment, you'll see that if you want to get the hundredths, if you want to pass a number, we'll call it x, into this function, it'll return the exact same thing as x divided by 100, integer divided by 100, which is 2 slashes, which means there's no remainder and no decimal, and then you multiply it by 100. That results in the same thing. All right, no, it actually doesn't. That multiplied by 100 there is actually not supposed to be there as a mistake. Just ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist. But this is just done mathematically, and this is by turning it into a string and then a list, and then removing the last 2 digits, and then multiplying it by 100. But any experienced Python developers could try looking into the program and just replacing the function call with the basic math. Now, what you're going to do is go File, Save As, or Control-Shift-S. Now find a suitable spot to save it. I'm going to save mine in my desktop, and save it with a name that'll allow you to easily find it in the future. So say pygame raycaster. There you go. Now you press F5 or run and run module. Python files are called modules. And now you have my raycaster there for you to enjoy. Controls, WASD to move, left arrow to look left, right arrow to look right. Space to toggle the minimap. Don't worry, I already have this issue fixed, but it's in a version that isn't quite stable yet, so It's not too hard to fix for yourselves if you guys want to give it a shot. And that's about it for this video now. One more thing I'd like to add though, because you might get bored of this map pretty quickly. Like, I think it's a nice map for testing, you know? We got some of these long areas for testing the efficiency of the rays. Then you got the smaller areas. Here are the corners for reminding myself that the rays are really inefficient. Here's a room for being closed off and sitting in a corner, because that's not weird. But if you got bored, oh yes, also escape to leave, but you can also press the red X. And if you're ever messing around with the code and something crashes, all right, something crashes, you'll notice that pygame, like if you imagine this is crashed, all right, pygame will stop responding. I can do whatever I want. Pygame will just stop responding. I can press this red X button, pygame will not respond, all right? If that ever happens, don't worry, you're not stuck with this running in the background forever. You don't need to shut down your computer. All you have to do is close the shell. It won't give you this. All you have to do is close the shell, and that'll kill the program. Now, if you got bored of the map, though, this right here, it's very close to the top of the file. This right here, this is just where the level is set. All right. Now, experienced Python developers will just only need to read the code comments here to figure out what's going on. However, I'm just going to keep it simple for you guys and only show you how to expand it outwards. All right, now first off, the right wall and the right edge and the bottom edge have to be walls. All right, 2 is a wall; they have to be walls. Otherwise, it'll crash when you try to look in that direction. Just the way that Python and the rays work. However, if you want to make it longer, all you have to do, go in each of the lines, just add 1 comma space or 2 comma space if you want to add a wall. Here, I'll have these. The corners will be walls. Now, there's no obligation to keep the full top wall or the full left wall as walls. You could, theoretically, turn them into air, but I think it's best if you turn it into wall, keep it as wall. Now, the player will always spawn here. Keep that in mind. And you can also go and change this. Let's maybe block off this top area. You can just change the 1s to a 2. There you go. That top area is now blocked off. The only direction the player will be able to go is downwards. So let's go and run this. Remember, you have to save every change, and you'll see that the minimap is now reflecting those changes. This player spawned right here. This is one of the walls that we added. All right, now if we go over here, you'll see that this has actually been extended by 1 block. And these corners are now walls. Now, hope you guys have fun with that. Feel free to have a look through the code, see if you can pick apart how it works. Anyone who's worked with raycasters for a while now will realize that these rays are actually extremely inefficient because there's no implementation of DDA whatsoever. For those of you who don't know what DDA is, it just allows you to have really efficient rays in tiled worlds. If you're wondering why I haven't implemented it, it's because I cannot comprehend it whatsoever. It just completely escapes my mind. So if there's anybody who's experienced with raycasters or how DDA works, please leave a comment, maybe with a learning resource, or maybe you could leave a comment with whatever code I need to change here. Or maybe just leave a comment with the code. I'll just replace this function with that code you leave in the comment. I'll give you credit for it as well. And that's about it for this video now, guys. I really hope you have fun with my raycasters. I worked hard on it. Don't worry, I'm not done doing updates for it. I have some big updates coming in for the next video. In fact, here's a little sneak peek. Now, if you guys want to see me do a little bit more of a technical breakdown, show you how each bit of this works, I can do that. Leave a comment. I'll be sure to read it. If you guys want me to do a video explaining how to get started with Python and pygame, so if maybe you wanted to get a mod for this, or actually understand how all this is, how all this works, what's going on here, leave a comment. I might try doing a little mini Python tutorial series. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, especially if you want to see some future updates on how this thing is going. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.